What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today I've got a good old-fashioned cringe story time for y'all about this guy who apparently just loved to act tough in his school, just being a little bit over the top when it comes to saying he could beat everybody up and he's smarter than everybody. I know you guys love this, but the real kicker is apparently his dad's in the CIA, so watch out, we all might be on a watch list somewhere for making fun of this guy. Either way, I just thought it would be a pretty funny story time, so yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, this kid was just one of those people that loves to act tough, like, oh, I can take on anyone in a fight, but he was delusional. He would actually try to convince people that if a team of Navy SEALs were to break into his house, he would be able to take them. Which, listen, man, I'm not saying that Navy SEALs are real superheroes, but, like, as far as what they do, they're as close to superhero as superhero gets. I think there's a reason that we can send a team of, like, 6 of them somewhere, and they're like, yeah, no, we got everything done. We're the Navy SEALs. Keep in mind this dude's in school, so the odds of him taking on every Navy SEAL is slim to none. But one of the weirdest things that he would do is, like, try to spy on people in his class. And obviously that's already a little bit weird. I think if anyone, like, realized someone was trying to spy on them, they would be a little bit uncomfortable. But this guy would be really, really annoying about it. Like, for example, if you were talking to somebody at recess you didn't normally talk to, he would come up to you at lunch and, like, ask you why you were talking to them. And if you didn't answer, he would be like, why are you getting so defensive? I don't know, probably because I didn't realize there was some dude watching everyone that I was talking to all the time. Maybe that's why I'm getting a little bit defensive. I'm just not too comfortable with the whole being watched thing. Either way, he would just try to spy on people, but he was really bad at it. Like, for example, if you were in the library and you were trying to talk to somebody about something, he would get within like 2 feet of you, which is so close to the point you can just tell someone's overhearing what you're saying. And he would just like look at a book and flip through the pages, which, listen, might be some good cover if you're across the room, you're looking like you're reading the book, but it was almost like someone had told him reading a book is a good way to make sure you're not paying attention or make it look like you're not paying attention. But unless this dude was like an insane professional speed reader, there's no way he would be reading that fast. Because he would be trying to spy on somebody, flipping through the pages like he had, I don't know, something wrong with his wrist where it was just constantly doing that motion. Like, seriously, would fly through pages, which also made sound. He was doing it so fast, so whoever he was trying to spy on would look over and just see this kid furiously speed reading and be like, hey man, can we help you? And whenever someone would ask him, what are you doing, when he would do this weird thing in the library, he would just immediately be like, I'm not spying on you. And you'd be like, all right, I just asked what you're doing. Kind of weird to blurt that out. Sorry, dude. I don't know. My brain stopped working there. Like some guy's sitting next to you. Hey, man, what's up? I'm not spying on you. You're like, okay, I didn't think you were, but now I know you're definitely spying on me. Just a weird reaction to do. And obviously he would be trying to overhear the conversation, because why else would you go stand like 2 feet away from people and loudly flip through a book? And that wasn't the only time he would try to spy on people and just do it very, very poorly. They had this like thing for reading on their classroom computers that was this like a website that would have articles on it written for kids, and then like the kids could write articles. It was this thing that they had at their school, right? And everybody had a password and everybody had like, their login for it. And so he would try to like get people to give over the login information, which, listen, people do it all the time, it's like phishing. I guess it's possible. But the guy just would do it in the dumbest way possible. For example, like one of the reset questions that you would have to reset your password, everybody had the same one, and it was like, what was the first street you lived on and what was your first pet's name? Something along those lines. And he would walk up to somebody and ask like 2 questions to them. Oh, how is your day? Did you do your homework? What street do you live on? Which, if you've never had a conversation with someone before and they just start walking up and asking security questions, it's a little obvious. Hello, fellow stranger. I believe that we have never met. If you could please provide me with your mother's maiden name and your date of birth, I would greatly appreciate it. It is for a survey, for surveying. Like, it's pretty obvious when someone's doing that. And when they would not answer, he would sometimes just get so obvious about it that he would just try to convince them to give him the password. Hey man, what's your password? I want to see if mine is stronger than it. Which, listen, if anyone falls for that one, they just kind of deserve to have their account hacked into and be spied on. I'm not saying anyone would deserve it, but if somebody says, hey, can you tell me your password so I can make sure mine is as strong, and you give them your password, you might just be one of the stupidest people of all time. Oh yeah, no problem, man. Mine is I love socks 86. What's yours? My password is password. Like, I just feel like if someone answers that question, they're dumb. And everybody would get very annoyed with it because it wasn't like he was just always trying to spy on people, was bad at it, and would just shut up beyond that. He was always telling people that he was like very talented at getting information, you know, he was just a next level spy. He was basically gonna get recruited by the CIA straight out of high school. You know, just real I'm going to be a big tough James Bond guy type of stuff. And considering how bad he was at spying, I think if he even tried to go to the CIA, they would be like, no. They would be doing the prerequisite questioning. I don't know how the CIA picks spies. I'm guessing they make you do a questionnaire before they just start training you. Are you good at espionage? He's like, yes, I'll have you know, I've asked 8,000 people what their passwords are, and one person has told me. Just like something like that just makes no sense. Whatever, though. He just got really annoying with it, and there was another kid in the class who was never trying to spy on people, but was just one of those kids that everybody knew was one of the smarter kids in the class. And one day, the spy kid tries to get this guy's password, and he's not having any of it, and he straight up asks the guy, do you really think that one day someone's gonna be stupid enough to give you that information? Which, listen, is that a little bit aggressive? Yeah, but at the same time, if someone's trying to get you to tell them your password, you're probably justified in being like, hey man, that's stupid. Do you ever think anyone's gonna fall for that? But whatever, the kid who's spying gets very upset and starts yelling at him, saying he has no idea who he's messing with and he has no idea what training this kid has been through. And listen, dude, even if your dad is some secret CIA agent, whatever, I said that weird, I don't think that you just miraculously have training. Like, I don't think Agent Cody Banks is real life. The Spy Kids was not a documentary. This guy probably thinks that Spy Kids was based on a true story. You know that second one where they have like all the monsters on the island? He just thinks somewhere there's actually an evil scientist who has a bunch of people with magnets on their heads flying around. The thumb people are just at the bottom of the ocean in Atlantis. I don't think that's reality, but whatever. He starts telling this kid that he has all this training and he doesn't want to mess with him because he has no idea who he'd be messing with. And listen, bro, it just doesn't matter how, like, much you swear you have super cool training. If this guy was trained by the CIA and was still this bad at spying, then I'm losing all faith in our government. No wonder they can't do a coup right. Every time they try to overthrow a government, they get caught. It's probably because they're trying to recruit like 8th graders to the spy network. All right, sir, we're gonna go try to destabilize Peru. You guys go for it. Take the crack team of 9th graders. Like, I mean, come on. The CIA is good at destabilizing countries. I don't want to insult them. I'm so sorry, CIA agent outside my house. Sorry, I had to save myself. I wasn't trying to wake up with a bag over my head being told I'm being taken somewhere for insulting the CIA. Either way, the kid who had started arguing with him about how he's not a very good spy and he doesn't know what he's doing got fed up with it and said something along the lines of like, if your training is so good, then you should have no problem beating me up after school then, which is just a good way of saying like, we're gonna fight after school. And I'm not saying that that was the smartest decision that he would ever make, but I think it was a little bit of him like calling his bluff. I don't know. I'm not that guy. I can't know what he's thinking. But I mean, if you think about it from a strategic perspective, the guy can't really back down because apparently he's a secret CIA agent who's got all this training. And on top of it, if he doesn't instantly like 720 no-scope karate kick you and pinch your shoulder where you pass out instantly, it's gonna be really obvious he's not an agent. And listen, it's obvious he's not an agent. Spoiler alert, the CIA doesn't recruit children that I know of. But it's a pretty good way to A, make him look dumb because he either has to back down, at which point what spy would be backing down from this situation, or B, he makes himself look stupid. Either way, it's kind of a W. And the spy kid, being the spy kid, is like, you know, I'm not going to fight you because my hands are registered as lethal weapons. So if I fight you, I could get in trouble. But you should stop threatening me and don't you dare try to fight me, because if you try to fight me, then I'll tell the CIA and they'll arrest your entire family. Which, once again, don't know if that's how it works. Like, hey man, this guy threatened to fight me. Can we just kidnap his whole family? I think that's more of a North Korea thing where they put people in prison for like the next 3 generations. Yeah, your great uncle insulted Kim Jong-un once, so your grandkid's going to be in prison. I don't think that's how it works here. Once again, not in the CIA, I wouldn't really know, but I'm just saying that like, oh, don't threaten me because I will call the CIA and they'll arrest you. Also, I can't fight you because my hands are lethal weapons. Very convenient, but the smart kid's having none of it. He's like, no, bro, I'm just saying, if you're some tough spy, you should be able to show me up no problem. But the kid is just not letting it go. He's like, I'm going to tell the CIA and you're going to get in trouble. And now the kid that started this argument with him changes his tactic. Instead of trying to fight the CIA guy, he just starts calling his bluff that he can tell the CIA. Go ahead, tell them. Like, what are they going to do? Show up at my house? And the kid's like, yeah, they will show up at your house, actually. And so, whatever. Finally, they drop it, and he says, I'm fighting you after school. Like, we're fighting. Everyone's had enough of this CIA agent crap. It's going down. And immediately, people start talking about it. They're like, finally, we're going to see this kid have to get into a fight. He's been trying to spy on everybody. Everyone had kind of wanted to punch the dude in the face at some point. It was just now somebody was actually being like, nope, it's going down. Well, apparently, when the spy kid said that he was going to tell the CIA, what he really meant was that he was going in to tell the teacher. Basically, just snitch. I don't know if in his mind it was codenamed Kids Next Door and all the teachers were like secretly CIA agents or something. But he snitches, and everybody knows he snitches because when they get back to class, the teacher is like, all right, guys, no fighting, calls out the kid who wanted to fight him by name and says, I don't know who you want to fight, but it's not acceptable. And everybody is like, bro, you told the teacher? Are you serious? Mr. CIA agent was so afraid that he told. And he's like, I didn't tell the teacher. The CIA told the teacher. I just told the CIA. Yeah, that's definitely how it works. The CIA has a main line into every classroom. You can't let our agent's cover be blown. Make sure that this fight doesn't happen. I don't know. If the CIA was going to get involved, I don't think they would just tell the teacher not to make it happen. But whatever. He was kind of like implying that the CIA had gotten involved because this guy wanted to fight him, and the guy's not backing down. He says, I don't care that the teacher told me not to do it. I don't care that you told the CIA. I'm fighting you after school. And the CIA kid is freaking out. He's like, oh my goodness, dude, I don't know what to do. And after school that day, they see him sprinting across the parking lot to his mom's car to avoid having to walk past them. So that's the length of what he's willing to go to avoid the fight, right? And after that, the smart kid kind of had proved his point. Obviously, he's not a CIA agent. Everybody would make fun of him for backing out of the fight. So whatever, it had kind of gone away. Everyone had just kind of known it was bullcrap after that day because he literally ran away. I don't know if that's what the CIA teaches people. They're like, all right, CIA agents, run as fast as you can. Everyone was disappointed the fight didn't happen, but it did serve the purpose of like, okay, the guy clearly is not a CIA agent and he's going to tell the teacher on anything you do. But then came the day where he actually ended up getting into a lot of trouble because he wouldn't drop the CIA thing. And up to this point, he had just kept it between like him and the students, really, which, whatever, annoying, but there's nothing they can really do. However, the time it went too far was when he decided to use the whole my dad is in the CIA thing for his teacher as well. Anyways, one day, he just decides that he's going to sneak out of class. And I don't know if sneaking out of a classroom is even something a real spy could do. Because, I mean, think about it. Like, the teacher is standing at the front of the room looking at everyone, and you have to get up and walk out of the door while the teacher is looking your direction. I mean, maybe it's possible if you got like some Halo active cloak or whatever. I don't know what secret gadgets they're handing out to the spies these days, but I'm just saying the odds of being able to like sneak out of a classroom seem pretty low, unless your teacher is got the worst nearsighted vision of all time and everything's just kind of a blob from 10 feet out. I don't know how you're going to just stand up and walk out without getting noticed. But sure enough, he gets out of his chair and starts doing like this tiptoe slow movement thing. I don't know if he thought teachers were like T-Rexes where their sight was based on movement. Maybe he had watched a little bit too much Jurassic Park, got that mixed up with his James Bond. But he's moving really slowly, and obviously the teacher is like, what are you doing? Because it's obvious that he's walking towards the door. And the kid just stops in his tracks. He just stops moving and freezes. And I don't know if he thought that the teacher was just going to be so confused by why he stood still, he would just drop the entire subject. I don't know if he thought that standing still would make him seem less guilty, but he's standing there just not replying. So the teacher asks him again, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Me?" and points at himself. And the teacher is like, "Yeah, you. Who else should they be talking to, man? What are you doing? Do you see anyone else out of their chair doing anything else?" "No." "Me? What am I doing? Goodness gracious, I'm only standing still in the middle of class for some reason. Why would you think I'm up to anything?" But the teacher is like, "Yes, you." And he says that he has a very important mission that he has to take care of, and he has to go gather intel on the office for such and such, for blah, blah, blah. And the teacher is kind of like, "What in the world are you talking about?" Because I don't think if he was a spy, which we all know he's not, why would they assign you to go spy on the principal? Like, I feel like the CIA probably knows everything about anyone that they want to know. I don't think they would be like, "Wow, I sure am glad we trained this child to be an agent. Now he can go spy on his principal for us." But all right, whatever. And the teacher is like, "No, you can't leave. You don't have a mission. What are you talking about?" And you would think maybe it would register in this kid's mind that, oh, this is a teacher and I can't really commit to the whole "my dad's a CIA agent and so am I" thing. But he starts yelling at the teacher, saying that she is obstructing a national security investigation, and if she does this, she's responsible for whatever the bad guys do next. And the teacher is just looking at him like he's crazy. Because imagine you're a teacher in this situation. You've got like, I don't know, 900 students in a day. Well, how many ever students teachers have? And all of a sudden, one of them is yelling at you that he's a CIA agent. And if you don't let him leave the class and go spy on the principal, you're responsible for whatever the bad guys do. Like, what? You would just be thinking that this kid has to be on something, right? Like, okay, little Timmy, how much rat poison did you accidentally eat last night? Something's going on that doesn't make sense. And the teacher is kind of telling him that I don't really care what national security, and she does air quotes, is on the line. You don't get to just get up and leave class whenever you feel like it. I have to run my classroom like a classroom. And if everyone's just getting up and leaving all willy-nilly, that kind of defeats the purpose. I would have no control over the class. Which is fair. I don't think she should have even tried to reason with him. She should have just been like, "Dude, you're not a CIA agent, and even if you were, it doesn't mean you can just get out of everything. Sit down." But she's trying to reason with him, and you'd think he'd respect that a little bit. Like, okay, thank you for at least not telling me I'm insanely delusional. You can pretend that anything he's saying about being a CIA agent makes sense. And then he's like, "If you don't let me go, the CIA is going to kidnap you and take you to a black site." Which, if you don't know where those are, they is basically a location where the CIA takes you when they want to do a little bit of interrogation that maybe might not be legal on U.S. soil. Maybe a little bit of waterboarding, and we're not talking surfing. So the teacher is like, "What? Did you just threaten me?" And the kid says, "Yeah, my dad's a CIA agent. I have to help him. You need to let me go now." And the teacher's having none of that. And she's like, "You're not going to threaten me. I don't care what your dad is. You're not an agent, even if your dad is, and I don't believe you." And the kid's like, "What do you mean you don't believe me? My dad's a CIA agent. I can do whatever you want." And she says, "I would stop saying your dad's a CIA agent or I'm going to have to embarrass you." And at this point, if I was the kid, I would just shut up. Because I feel like when an adult says, "Don't say anything or I'm going to embarrass you," like, it's just going to happen. I wouldn't really want to take those chances. But whatever, he says something about how, like, "You would have no clue what my dad can do, so you don't know anything, shut up." And the teacher just looks at him and says, "I know your dad is a mailman, shut up." And everybody is like, "Oh my God," losing their mind, you know? Everybody had wanted to tell this kid to shut up. And here was the teacher confirming that not only is dad not a CIA agent, but he's a mailman. No disrespect to mailmans. I love getting the mail. Thank you so much for bringing it to my house. I appreciate it. But it's definitely not a CIA agent, and it's definitely not any job that gives you permission to just start running around the school willy-nilly spying on people. No, you don't understand. I have to wiretap the principal. My dad works for the post office. Doesn't really have the same ring to it. Well, the kid tries to double down on the story, which, alright, maybe he's in too deep at this point. He's like, look, I just have to commit. There's nothing else I can do. That's a possibility. But he starts trying to argue with the teacher, being like, no, that's just his cover. That's the job that he says he has. He's actually a CIA agent, but he can't tell you that because he's undercover. And the teacher looks at him and she's like, okay, so you're telling me that your dad is actually a CIA agent, but he's using mailman as his cover because he's on a secret assignment? And the kid very confidently is like, yeah, that's it. He thinks this one's gonna work, all right? Now everyone's gonna think he's a CIA agent. The teacher's gonna back off. This was the greatest thing that he's ever come up with. And the teacher goes, are you sure that's the story you want to go with? And the kid says yes. And so the teacher points out, well, if he's on a secret assignment and he's supposed to be undercover, why did you just tell the entire class about your dad's secret identity? And the kid is standing there stammering. And obviously neither him or his dad is a CIA agent. Not that his dad said he was, but he's just kind of like, because that's kind of a good point. I'm pretty sure when they assign like secret missions, one of the things that they make sure to tell you is keep it a secret. The CIA likes to do secret things. I don't think you get through training without being able to keep a secret. And he's stammering and he's like, well, and everybody's just kind of laughing at this point because if you are a spy, you're a horrible one. No, my dad's a secret agent. We're on a secret mission and this is secret. It's classified. No one knows about it. Turns around, realize he's been sitting on the intercom button, like almost comical levels of exposing yourself here. And he doesn't know what to say, so he just doubles down and yells at the teacher, well, I have a mission to do and it's of the utmost importance to national security, so you can't stop me. I have to get out of this classroom. You got me. My dad's not in the CIA, but that's my cover, is that he's using the mailman cover for the CIA, which at this point we've got covers on top of covers on top of covers with secret stories, and there's still a CIA kid for some reason, and everybody is starting to laugh even more, and he's getting pissed because it's obvious that no one's believing it. And the teacher says it doesn't matter how many times you try to change your story, you're not allowed to just leave the class. And he's getting very angry, and finally he just looks at everyone in the class laughing at him. He looks at the teacher and he says, screw you, opens the door and just runs out. And now everybody is just laughing out loud because the way he said screw you, his voice just happened to crack when he did it. Unfortunate timing, dude. We've all been there. Every time my voice cracks in a video, oh, nice voice crack. Every time in the comments. But if you're gonna be like, screw you, it's just definitely not gonna go over well, dude. Everyone's gonna be laughing at you. But he runs out, and the teacher goes to look out the door just to kind of see where he's running. I don't know, like just see what's happening. And when they open the door, a few of the kids look out, and they start laughing even harder. Listen, if you are some type of secret agent, one of the things I'm sure they make you do a lot of is like endurance training, you know, conditioning. If you're gonna be spying and saving the world, you gotta be able to run for a bit. I don't think lazy agents is something they got on deck. Well, apparently the CIA school of teaching kids how to run had really messed with this dude's, because he's doing like, I don't even know how to explain it. Imagine somebody had taken a backpack, put it way too low on their back, and then tried to run while it's like bouncing on them, but he's just not wearing a backpack. He's just kind of running really weird, like he's uncomfortable, and everyone's laughing. And he turns around and sees the door open and sees a few kids. And he yells something about how, like, he's off to save the country and they can thank him when they watch the news later or whatever, and storms off. And the teacher has to call the office at that point and it explains the situation. And listening to the teacher explain it to the office was hilarious, because she's like, yeah, I have a kid who apparently thinks he's in the CIA. Apparently his dad is too. When I told him he couldn't leave class to go do his mission, he got very angry at me, started screaming at me, and then ran out of the class. But when he was running, it looked like he had something wrong with his leg. So I'm not quite sure what's going on, but just so you know, there is a crazy kid running around the campus. And of course, they start looking for him. They find him. He does not come back to the class that day. He gets taken to the office. They call in his dad, who is a mailman, and obviously no one really knows what went down in the meeting. But what we do know is that when he comes back to school after a little suspension, he did not get rid of the CIA story. So apparently whatever they told him in the office didn't have enough going on for him to not pretend to be a spy anymore. But everybody in class started calling him James, like, James Bond, which, listen, it's kind of funny. Like, listen, sure, would I love to be nicknamed after something as embarrassing as this? No. But if you're gonna stick to the CIA story, you ran out of the class to go save the country or whatever, people are gonna call you James Bond. You just gotta deal with it. As for the news later that day, there was nothing about some super spy saving the world and then running back to 8th grade geometry or whatever. So I'm not quite sure what he meant by that, not sure what his mission was, but he ended up changing schools the year after that because his family moved states. Probably another CIA reassignment, all right? There's no way that he was moving for any other reason. Realistically, his dad probably just wanted to go be a mailman in a different town. And I don't want anyone to get it twisted and think I'm dunking on mailmen. It's like a very respectable job. Someone's got to do it. You get paid well, good benefits. It's just not a CIA agent. They're a little bit different. Who would have thunk it? Anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate y'all taking a second to press the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments section down below. If you don't know what to comment, just go ahead and comment the word agent down below. I'd really appreciate it. And if you're new, you should subscribe and turn on those notifications because I post videos like this every single day and you don't want to miss out. If you like the story times, but you would rather listen offline without gameplay, whatever floats your boat, I do post the audios over on Spotify, link down below for that. And you'll also find a link to a playlist here on YouTube of my favorite story times of the year so far. So if you want something to listen to while you're doing chores, gaming, whatever it may be, feel free to check that out. And yeah, on that note, guys, I think that's going to go do it. I'm going to go save the world because my grandpa secretly is the FBI. Yeah, there's no FBI agents. They're just all my grandpa. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace. All right, since you made it to the end of the video, I'll tell you a secret from the CIA, okay? I heard this from my uncle. Basically, the CIA is actually behind that one thing